What is up, YouTube? This is Station here, and we are reacting to the season finale of what we know as 86. 86 greatness. We have it once more, and then we have to just wait till further notice. I can't tell you how much and I'm not gonna lie. I actually have not moved on in the light novels yet because I want to get the anime done with so I can be a little bit more psyched to get through part 4, which I to the volume 4 and onwards, which I did kind of peak a little bit, but I want to I want to experience the anime more before I'm like, oh, I want to see what happens next. So what's up, guys? I know this isn't the most exciting stream in the world, but I'm here. So yeah, it's with all the bad, the most embarrassing production issues that it had due to crunch time. Not really so much like a burnout or something, just more like, oh, they didn't have time. There was a really unfortunate schedule, but when it came to it, they've delivered. The wait was worth it in that last episode, and from the buzz I've been hearing in my server, and then also in some other servers I'm in, thankfully I have not let the spoilers. I've stayed off Twitter as much as possible. I was on Twitter, and then when on the scheduled part where the episode was gonna drop in Raws, in Japan, I stayed off. I have stayed off since. I've only ventured it once to share the link to the stream on Twitter, and that's about it. Otherwise I've done my best to stay spoiler free. So yeah, the last week's episode was like a movie. This is just how this finishes off is gonna really determine whether or not this is gonna be a 9 or 10 for me. Because the volumes 2 and 3 were not particularly remarkable compared to the first volume, but and of course production issues did kind of just kind of a little all over screw up here and there, but that last episode, I just really have to rethink. I have really thought about rethink. What did I like better overall, or what did I like? Which parts from which I liked the most? And I just really, I'm just really not so sure how to feel. It's just so much thoughts into it. And as of recently, back then, a few years ago, I would be psyched to write up reviews, talk more about this, online. But as of recently, I've been just and I don't know if, and this may or may not have come with the fact that I'm now 31, gonna be 32, even though I may not look this sort. It's just kind of just mentally, I can only just express it as much here on this stream. This is the opportunity for me to be as expressive, even if I can't say everything I want to, especially with this series. And let's be real, this thing doesn't boast the most, it doesn't boast extravagant art say Demon Slayer, say Wonder Parody. It doesn't have that same sort of or something like Osama Rank. It doesn't have that. But what makes me have this far over those aforementioned series is because of just the directing itself. I'm not even gonna talk about the story. I haven't even brought up the story yet. It's weird when I hear people say, oh, it's a teenage angsty melodrama, some sort of waifu bait thing. And I'm just gonna say this right now. where the hell did you come? Where the hell do these sort of people come to this conclusion? Like I'm saying this right now because I've heard it on Twitter. I've seen it in some final reviews today, in one final review today, and I'm just like, how did you get from point? How did you get from point from that point to this? Like it kind of boggles me. Like, how do you reach that conclusion? It may, and like, because either you watch this too fast, or you just weren't real, or you just like were watching it but you really just weren't paying attention, like watching on speed dial or something. It's just weird that, I mean, I know 86 doesn't have the most, you know, appealing to the world, like, because people nowadays, like, they want the trashy entertainment stuff. Like, let's be real here. That's what we really. That's what the majority of people prefer nowadays. That's why they would say, "Oh, 86 is boring," because they. But at the same time, they'd be keeping up with something like Wole and Harem or like all that trashy shit that really doesn't deserve even ironic praise. Like, because it's just like, yeah, that's a problem in in the industry. Like, how do those get approved? Like, how did those, like, What Him shouldn't even, that, like, there are some shows, like, there was this one that actually got approved. I heard about like a few days ago, and I was like, it was something like dog something, and I'm just like, oh, it's probably something about like a girl, you know, with a dog and all, but it's like, no, it's a erotica, and it was like, how did that get through? How did they approve of this? And so so I'm just like, how do people like don't like this, but like this, even if it's not ironic or not? It boggles me. I wish people are more open to things. I know I am more critical of things, but it's just like, for me, 86 hits a balance. Like, it's not perfect. I've said it before, but it clicks on me on a lot of levels, and it's not a generic mecha series. Like, don't get me, like, it's more like, I'm gonna say, it's Gundam, like the Gundam stuff you usually see, it's mech series with war drama. 86 is a war drama with mechas. Those are different. No difference. That's just all I'm saying. Like, the mechs aren't the big focus in this series, and anyone else who thinks otherwise, like, I feel sorry for you. I mean, the designs for the Juggernauts are pretty cool though, and especially the Legions. You know how they're named what they're named after. Yeah, like the quantity and all, it just bothers me with, like, quantity over quality. But you know, to be fair, that's any industry. That's not just the anime industry. That's the entertainment industry in any country in general, because they gotta, you know, feed the audience, like, with supply and demand. And you know, like, the more people who are there to just watch television, the more, you know, show they have to churn out. Production go burr or not. That's just the gist of it. That's why you usually see like these really, you know, there'll be just a few good, you know, comedy shows, and everything else is just like forgettable, and it's like they're just there to fill slots. That's just how it is. Like what's happening with the anime industry is more highlighted and more talked about, and is more of a thing because of Japanese work culture, but it's not that much different from what we have here. Or any other country, to be honest. I mean, there are differences, but it's still generally the same, you know. Like, differences, of course, is pay, but that's another can of worms entirely. You can tell who actually watched the show, who didn't. Yeah, right. 100 shows make 100 million USD. 10 quality shows make 9 million USD, which makes the mean quality of anime go down, and animators got worked to death. Yeah, that's sad. It's really sad when that happens, because like, because then you gotta really, you know, I feel like I understand why they want more, because more money. But if it doesn't, but you gotta wonder, like, when does the junk food stop selling? It will well, okay, it will not stop selling. It's easy to chew on. That's why they chew it out. That's why they're gonna keep making these, making that sort of those the low budget stuff. It is how it is. Again, like I said, it's how the entertainment industry runs, quantity over quality. And there's only this isn't anything new. It's just more like, it's more talked about with anime nowadays. Now that people are indoors, and, watching more anime using more anime streaming sites, and due to that, they are get curious, they get more aware, they look up stuff, and they become more aware of the situation. But even though it's not that much different, in my opinion, from the issues they have in the anime industry everywhere else. I mean, as people say, the AOTB fiction. I don't mean they can believe what they want. I legitimately don't care at this point. I just don't want them to be assholes. Hello will come for the first time in Japanese, and I'm not good at English. I'm enjoying the reaction video. I watched it a little earlier, but I'd like to enjoy it again. Thanks for joining Japanese anime. Hey, thanks. So now that we're gonna get through, we get started. That last episode, I did tear up. Like, it was like watching a movie. The scene directing is phenomenal. Like, there's no way there's no better. There's almost impossible to draw it up any better. I mean, it wasn't as polished as it could have been, but it set home like what it made the material that would have been otherwise not pretty remarkable, and just elevated to another level. And, using the aspect ratio, the cinematic bars, and all. I think that's what you call it. And like the way it turns from black to white, the contrast between blue and red, and how, and even the details when you switch from outside a regolith, and then inside, and how Lena's, how Lena just like the voice is muffled from outside, and then like when we're outside, we see her clearly, and then Sheen's talking talking over the teleprompter somehow. So there's so much details in it. I hate when people say 86 I don't like when people say it's a bad sound design. Like, they actually, have a knack for trying to emulate, how the electronic nature, or like someone like kind of partially inspired by World War II in a way, and then like try to make it a way where it's believable. Like, it feels like you're there. Like the sound they could have just thrown in some generic action sounds and then just roll with it, but no, they kept attention to it. This is also what the staff, the team with Mushoku Tensei also did. They could have just went with any, just collection of sound, they're just old collection of reused sound effects, and just roll with that. But no, they decided to do something more. And with both cases, I really can't help but have high praise for that. That's commitment. That's commitment. That's what I'm saying. Oh, it's letterboxing. Okay, I think that's weird. That's weird. That just reminds me of that account of like a website where I actually made an account on, but I barely frequent it because like I don't always remember every freaking American movie I watched, because yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna get this started. Now that the chat's getting a little bit big, I am going to get started. So yeah, it was very emotional, and to see Shane, at least, he had that mental spiraling down, and then to just be uplifted when Lena just came back. We can't underestimate Lena. Like I hate, like I can understand the hate for Lena or the dislike for Lena, but here's the thing, like these sort of characters, they're not meant to be easily likable. Like, isn't that the point of developing them? Like, Shinji is unlikable. Isn't that the point? Isn't that the point where to start him off like that, and whether or not you still hate him or not, like you try to develop him like that? I hate him, but I can understand why he was there. I just didn't like how he was used. Also with like Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul, or even Asta from Black Clover, or like who else? There's just like a lot of shonen protagonists kind of just start out not particularly good. Like, and regardless of whether or not you feel like the way they start out most time, when it's done right, it's just developing them, and all that. And then like that's more or less kind of similar to how Lena has developed. Like, of course she's gonna start the way she did, and then when it all comes to it, she had a great character arc, and she's gonna continue developing, I'm pretty sure. But anyways, I'm sorry I wasted a little too much time talking and rambling about things. I'm gonna go ahead and get this started now that I downloaded. Now that it's finished downloading. I don't know why it took so fucking long to download. So I'm gonna go ahead and begin. So this is the finale. I'm a little bit I'm kind of mad that it's this over. I just hope season 2 gets announced in April. But I mean, we're on copium at this point, right? Anyways, we'll go ahead and pull it up. All right, and yeah, let's get to it. Let me close these real fast. All right, wait. All right, episode 23, the finale in 3, 2, 1. Let's jam. Niggas out here dressed like Rudolph. We're just here. They just ignore him. But it's just like, oh, we're just here. Is your homework done? Oh wow, they just cook marshmallows just like that, old school, over the fireplace. A cookbook. Yeah, good luck with that, Shane. Oh, Anju. Thank God it's not fucking that one cliche where you just like the cooking just turned out just awful. I think this is anime original. This part right here. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. I probably just didn't remember correct. Don't remember. don't put the don't put the fucking eggs like that. Wait, does it taste bad? Wait, did it taste bad or it taste good? Like, I have no clue. Like, what was the verdict? Okay, I'm gonna say it probably tastes bad. Oh, I know, yeah. Hmm. 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 A strike package? Mm-hmm. I know who they're referring to. They're gonna, of course, there's like the buzz over. Pay respects to him. Yeah, somehow. Oh, yeah, it's the guy that had issues with him. Hmm. Oh, yeah. I feel you, man. I mean, this petty, but I can kind of understand. This is like the shock of just losing someone that like you don't know if you want to blame yourself or want to place the blame on someone else. I mean, it was fucked up what he did, but like everybody's just going through a lot and more. Oh, Yeah, that's great. That's great. Oh, nice transition. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Not anymore, thankfully. Though that's is that I think that's Shore's name tag that he has in there. Yep. Hmm. All the ones whose lives he's carrying. I am the Reaper. Keeping this world close up, I can't make it happen. I can't make it happen, man. Mm-hmm. And now we get to Lena's part of the story. Oh, didn't they show this? They showed this same scene in the earlier episode, if I remember correctly. That piece indoors just shattered just like that. She's gonna keep it there, or is she gonna? All the guns, all the fallen comrade, all the fallen people. Dude, it's just gone. There's all. These are the parallel scenes too. Remember back from episode 2 in part 1. Mm-hmm. Like the Republic is just over. Just nothing but the corpse of, but just the remains of what they used to be. They're just there's still this racist even pushing a crisis like this. How did it end like this? Yeah, that was a cat. Like a liking to. Man, just don't listen to this. Just don't listen to this guy. I know this guy. I know this guy. I know this guy's fuck. Even the cat fucking knows. Even Felix fucking knows about it. This guy's a fuck. This guy's a this guy a fucktard. Hmm. Oh yeah, it's the one that was she was that the guys were using. It occurred to her. They survived. Oops. There we go. Yeah, because Elena started to move, like it got others, including her friend, to start moving as well. Because they were just literally just sitting there in the comforts of thinking that the Republic's all is just safe and all, and then everything, and then all that happened. Independent Mobile Strike package postal poster. Theirs has to be a little bit uncomfortable because she's an Alba, and like how Alba are usually discriminate, and there's some people are still not comfortable with her leading the strike package. Still remembers her uncle's words. Yeah, her dream hasn't shattered quite yet. Oh, that was from the opening. Oh, they gave him a proper funeral. Or proper memorial. Mm. Shane just left the tags behind, and now it's also Lena. But oh, nice. It's like a sim. It's like literally like a parallel to how Shane's little segment of that played out. Interesting. Yeah, when she was taken over. Is this a new this is a new soundtrack? Oh. Oh yeah. They just show they kind of just you see all the little flashes. What? Hmm. Hmm. The train the train tracks. They finally meet. Yes. Yes. They finally meet in person. Trying to keep a straight face. Oh man. Man. Now it's her turn to tear up. They're just happy to see each other alive. I like this. Just we finally caught up. Oh, y'all gonna do it like that? Oh, that's a picture they. Oh, that's a picture they. That's the picture they drawn up. Oh man, I would like to cry, but I'm just happy. I'm just happy. I'm just really happy. Like is it the episode? Like the episode itself to me wasn't like remarkable and aesthetic wise by any means. But it's a good. I thought it was a good way to wrap it up, even if they were cutting corners. I mean, to be fair, like there wasn't really much to. There isn't a whole lot after that last episode. You know, they just kind of get a little epilogue, just stretch out things a bit. You know, set up things a little bit for down the stretch. Trying to finish up. Like, yeah, this is the. They finally. They finally meet each other. I mean, they finally meet in person. I like the parallels are just something else, and like even if it, I mean, I won't lie, this did feel a little stretched out. I mean, compared to the last episode, but it's more so because like the last episode set quite a high standard, and to be fair, this is just finishing off everything, and I'm pretty sure. Unless if I remembered wrong, it includes some, anime original stuff to just wrap up everything here and there. And man, I, I again, I would have cried, but I'm just happy. I'm just happy the way it turned out. I'm just happy this thing got the adaptation it did deserve, even if it wasn't, the even if it wasn't the most polished, like exciting thing. Like I get it, there's a lot of stills there, but at the same time, like I feel like more of the positives were there, and you get to see how you get to see at least Sheen's at least like he'll still keep the Reaper. I think he's still keeping the Reaper the Reaper on his glad cousin's regular, because it's a reminder just like, oh, it's not really a sort of a bad luck charm. It's just at least remember, like he'll still fight for them. I mean, the conflict with the Legion is not over, of course. And and like, so it's might as well, but it's not like, oh, it's a burden anymore. It's more like a reminder, just keep fighting on. But like, don't be so depressed over it. Like, don't worry, I will remember you, and I will keep I'll keep faith, and like I'm going to fight for the world that they wished for. They also have some great foreshadowing. Besides with the same two pairs of protagonists and hero in this pair, with 5. Apart from the mean, there really isn't any more significant unless they wanted to go into Volume 4 territory. Yeah, that is why it felt stretched out. Now, that's why there was some original content, like the part with them meeting up. It's just like, oh, we've seen each other. It's like, yeah, we've talked, we've known each other, but it's the first time we see in person. It's like the ones you just meet online. You finally see them in person, and you're just like, oh wow. And for Elena, it was like a relief, because like she didn't know if she would ever see them again, and it was always a burden. Like she kept fighting on. They gave him her a reason to keep fighting. I mean, if it wasn't for them, like she would have just stayed put. But no, she literally tried to, because of how she because of her time with them and how it just kind of changed her perspective of the world and, you know, perspective of, you know, of war itself, is where like she took matters into her own hands, and like she was pretty bold and like oh, I forgot what I was supposed to say. And like, yeah, even if, you know, the whole part where, you know, Richard said he, like, it could have been like, just was watch your dream shatter, just like, nah, I'll keep up this stream for a while, like, even if it does get shattered one day. There's so much I would try talking about, but like it would take, I'm not the ideal person to point out every single detail. Like that job belongs to someone else, not me. Like the episode, like there was a little bit of a party, you know, just a little of the festivity in there. You see Sheen visiting Eugene's you know, funeral, and you know it just occurred that Marshall was the one who told Eugene's sister to write those letters to him, which caused him to go off like that. Now, you know, just mentally go nuts. Like he was just kind of lost in it, and like, cause I have to think that when the guy was in shock when his friend Eugene died. Eugene's also Sheen's friend too. I mean, that's why he just kind of put the he put the picture of him and Eugene, you know, who you know, Eugene was looked pretty close, and like her sister saw, you know, his little sister who survived him. When you see she goes to the funeral, sees it, and you're just like, oh, my brother is happy. I'm glad to have met that person. Damn, there's a lot of people here. I did not realize I was, you know, directed to a lot of people. Like, I'm sorry if a lot of times I wasn't really saying much, because I was trying not to miss anything. That's why I was there. So I need to go back to that one part where there's this one part. Okay, I found it. There can be no punishment for a citizenry that's not aware of its crimes. Because that says something. That's an interesting line there. I'm not so sure how to really feel about it, but I think it's more like, if they're not aware of what they're doing wrong, they're gonna keep doing it until they're gonna keep doing, and like no one's reprimanding, and no one's there to reprimand them. Like if no one is there to reprimand them because they're gonna keep rolling with, they're gonna keep keeping up stuff like being discriminate or being disrespectful to other races. Because like even when they're saved, a lot of the Alba are still not grateful. You know, because you literally see like some of these people just fighting over like, hey, you got more shit than I do, and like it goes to show like the conflict with just discrimination in general. And I'm glad they didn't just ham-fist that thing all over in the series. They just focused on like just the general thing of just trying to survive, shit, and just the mentalities behind it. And it's not, and can't ask for better. And I'm glad they just went to that and didn't try something like, I don't know if it's some, because of that, it's hard to say, oh, 86 is convoluted or contrived. It's not. It really isn't. And like, I'm just gonna be here right now. There is nothing particularly convoluted about it or contrived about 86. I'm just really weirded out when people say that. I mean, there are things that I can understand that may not be easy to understand, you know, the first time around. But like, with a show that doesn't have the luxury of, you know, a huge, of fancy looking aesthetics, they have to resort to something else. Don't get me wrong, the background art does look amazing for this series, with everything said and done. Oh yeah, those three. Oh yeah, those are the three guys from what we saw in the very first episode. They somehow survived, and then you look at them right now. They fucking ungrateful for shit. That's something. But I want to talk more about like the part with you know how Shane just left the name tags of his fallen comrades, including his brother, and then also now Lana later comes over, puts it in the same spot right next to it, not knowing that was from Shane. You know, all of those faces, which she can try to image them of, you know, all the little, you know, papers of the, you know, with the faces that she drew in as a memorial for them, as like and I feel like it's fitting. Like it's especially fitting that she also sees that they actually got a memorial carved off of them, where they didn't get one back in the Republic, because, you know, they're not treated like humans at the time. Some of those three did survive. The part where, like when they were trying to accept Lane, you know, there's a whole thing where they're worried about Lane because like she's an Alba herself, and, you know, like there's also the reverse situation, like the colored races are not sure if they want to be, they're not, you know, at ease with an Alba, you know, commanding the 86 strike package, which is going to be their main offense against the Legion, their main weapon to fight, you know, to unlock, to break up this lock on the world that the Legion have right now. They don't feel comfortable, like, because there's a big role as a strike package. Because like they're literally, because that 86 gang is literally the whole, because they're more familiar with this, with the stuff regarding the Legions, and it's even scarier because the Legion are still. We have to remember the Legion are still evolving as they speak, and like they're just literally a rogue AI, and they're just constantly evolved. Like, that's scary, and I have to feel like when Volume 4 and 5, if they ever get adapted, that shit's gonna hit the whip. And hopefully it comes with a better production value. Now, I do not know if it needs to feel more animated. Like, you can honestly see that, like, will there be more action? Will there be a different set of teams? Like, I don't know. The season 2 has not been, like, if I'm saying if we have season 2, there's no confirmation. There's no confirmation as to yet, like, if we know if one is in the works. Saying 2/3 are considered the weakest. What A has one done is amazing. If you were to animate the rest, bruh, especially volumes 5 and 6. Yeah, I heard some great stuff regarding those. I'm sorry I'm not caught up. But I heard those had some crazy stuff. Like, some new plot points to take note of, some pretty disturbing revelations, some really good character development or relationship development, of course, for a certain pair. We all know who that is. There's a lot to look forward to, and the thing is, like, this episode itself wasn't remarkable. Like, by itself it wasn't remarkable, but to just wrap up everything is what the role does, and I thought it did it very well. Like, I still personally like episode 11 a little more overall, because it just had a better it had that cinematic, experience that this episode didn't have. Nothing against it, but it's episode 1 was just something. Episode 11 of part 2 was something else. Episode 22 in total. Hopefully they announce season 2 and take some nice time to work on the production. Yeah, I feel like if this got on more ideals, if the schedule was a little bit more favorable for them, it definitely would have looked even better. But I still am really pleased with what we got here. Like, it's, again, not the most exciting thing in the world. Again, like, lots of places where that it wasn't as polished as it could have been, and where you're just, but when when you saw where they reused some scenes, they reused them to good effect. Like with the flashbacks with Lena trying to do Last Stand against the Legion, in that one episode, in that one part, it quickly transitions to her. It quickly transitions to a new scene that correlates with her trying to fight, continuing to fight on, which is really nice, by the way. Which is a really nice way, which is one of the good ways to use, to reuse scenes. You know what I'm saying? That's how you reuse stuff. You use them and then you just kind of seam them into a new, seam them in. Like, don't feel like, oh, they're just there just to kill, just to tick up the slots. It's there to bring more meaning to oh, that's why she was just fighting all this time. The show could be popular and still take time to announce a new season. Spice and Wolf, for example. I mean, I hope we don't have to wait long. I mean, well, I just like we're in a period right now where there's just so much to be demand, and it's just a huge burden on the anime industry. So I just hope they will take the time to work things out, get things planned out. I mean, and just not fold to Aniplex's priorities to try to get things out early. Everything quality, everything quality Rome wasn't built overnight. Oh, we don't. Can we not talk about Classroom and Elite, please? I have mixed feelings about the anime. I have not touched the light novels yet. But when I do, I'll at least let them know in a future video or something when I just randomly talk about it. But yeah, it was just great, and the reunion is the meetup was really good. The way it was just kind of played out, just like how the rails were, how it was just kind of separating them. I mean, maybe it's coincidental that the rails were just kind of there, but the way they just kind of frame it is like, yeah, the rails were just doing the separating, and then like she walks over to their side, and because she's now gonna be able to fight with them, and then the realization like, oh, we know each other before, and it's been a while, Handler 1, and it just immediately lights up. She's like tearing up, just like, thank goodness you're alive. Thank goodness you're alive, so I can catch up. And Sheen is just also kind of like, just thankful that she is there. She is there. She's still alive. She's still there as someone he has a goal. from where he can have a goal to continue fighting, so for her, and that so we and to so the no so one day there will no longer be a battle, so she'll no longer have to walk on this battlefield. One day they'll try to find peace, find freedom. They have not achieved. The freedom is still not there. I mean, this feels reminiscent of how early Attack on Titan was. When it was actually good. Back when it was actually good. I'm sorry, guys. Like, back when it was actually doing onto something. Before it went. Before what happened. For manga readers only. But yeah, it's overall great. Like, again, not the best, not perfect, not the most polished, but still a very fitting way to end it. And you're just wishing like, please get season 2. There's so much more to build up from this story. It's also like Mushoku Tensei too. Like, it was so good the way it was playing out, and they both have their pros and cons. And their pros and cons. The pros and cons of Mushoku Tensei 86 are kind of contrasting to one another. Like, 86 doesn't have 86 doesn't have is more correlated, like, a lot of scene directing. They don't have the best looking They don't have great looking animation, but it's good enough to where it can make a stand for itself. While Mushoku Tensei's animation gets you to be immersed into the world, directly into the world itself, but doesn't have that as strong a sense of scene directing as 86. And then, of course, like, the story and the characters and all, like, they're totally different, but they're very compelling in their own ways. But 86 is a war drama, while Mushoku Tensei is a isekai / redemption story. 86 8 out of 10 FAOT. Does that, okay? Do you mean like RIP AOT, or do you mean FUCK AOT? Which is it? It can only be one or the other. I feel like it's the latter. Yeah, so I know I'm not the most professional guy reacting to it, but I just like talking about it, and I know I'm eating up too much time. I have to get to another stream, set up another stream soon, but this was great. I have nothing else to say. It's just a fulfilling way, and like people say this episode was going to be tearing up. It was more. I couldn't tear up, but it was just more like, I couldn't tear up because like there was scene. It did feel like a little bit panned out and all, but a lot of the emotional stuff was already forfeited in the previous episode. But it was still like I couldn't help but smile as they tried to wrap it up. And when they finally meet, I'm just like a big smile on my face. It's just it's there. And to be honest, the episode. Okay, so the episode itself, it felt a little too long in areas when they were playing, some of the theme songs over there. But it wasn't that bad. I mean, but it was just all the closure. I was not expecting that new song at the end though. I have to actually look that one up. I mean, if anyone has a link to that song, I mean, do DM me and share with me in the server somewhere. I think it's by. I would have to think it's by Regal Lily. I mean, it kind of sounds like them. I guess I think it's them. But yeah, like I just like how it was just shared. It was just again they went back to what they did with part 1, where they contrast and like throughout the most of the story, do some parts in part 2 where they would show the 86 side of the story and then Elena's side of the story, and finally they converge, and that's how it just ends. Now I don't think they'll have that same sort of storytelling like for the future seasons, but who knows, because I've always liked when they bounce back between Lena's perspective and Sheen and his gang's perspective. It's always been such a very interesting way to direct it. You're talking about AOT. Yeah, past episodes you can find some plot holes and inconsistencies and contradictions. Isayama wrote himself in the bubble. Ace is lucky to have Hiro Serrano as the composer writer for the soundtracks. Shout out to the director, he did an amazing job. Yeah, Toshimasa Ishii did a fantastic job. Where the animation isn't all that amazing, or like just the general design wasn't that amazing, it's still good, but it's just like, it wasn't remarkable. He made it to where like the scene directing overrules anything that just looks fancy looking just for the sake of being fancy looking. Happy they didn't overuse those songs like they did with Anoha Zero. Didn't they do that? Didn't they sort of do the overusing of stuff too in Iron Blood Orphans and Gundam Zero, which apparently I've heard people make comparisons to this series, and like I haven't watched those. I see the similarities with Iron Blooded Orphans, but saying Iron Blooded Orphans is better handles its topics, I think people miss the point when they say that. I don't think 86 isn't a politically driven series. I don't think it's meant that way. The politics is on the side. When Iron Blood Orphans tried to be political, it failed. I'm gonna be honest right now. Iron Blood Orphans did not do well when it tried to focus on politics, and then just what it did, I don't want to spoil, it just started using shock value, and then whatever the hell that ending was is what we get. That's just like, I'm just glad 86 did not turn out that way. Like in a worser I know we talk about like the production isn't all the best, but if it went to the wrong hands, 86 would have turned out like Iron Blooded Orphans is season 2. And yeah, I would have just been so vexed if that happened, because I am going to be real right now. I'm still not a fan to this day of what they did in Gundam Double Zero and Orphans. Like, they just kind of resorted to some drama baloney, if anything. Like, that's the thing. Blood Orphans had Orphans problem. Like, not only was it they couldn't handle it well, it was too much of it that they couldn't handle it correctly. You can't say like, oh, it handled things better just because it has a lot, so it automatically it handles better. No, it did not. Copious amounts of politics doesn't mean handling politics correctly. That's not how it works. That's not how it works. But I digress. Because if anything, 86 is more focused on, just the drama behind it. And like whatever stuff like discrimination and politics, and the military stuff come in, second prior, or come in and with a you know, with lower priorities, but they're still notable. I mean, like the military thing is going to be something of a highlight because they, you know, you do have to come up with something to oppose the Legion, which is a really growing plot point. I want to know more. I want to know more about the Legion. Like, we got the gist that they were a rogue AI. They were collectively a rogue AI, but I want to know more behind it. Like, what is it up with them now? Is there a way to attack them at the source? Like, or is there more? Is there just another can of worms that is yet to be found? Yeah, the animation was the greatest, but the director did fantastic with imagery sequences. I'm a sucker for that stuff. Even the director who did Comey did imagery sequences. Yeah, Comey did have really good stuff with the scene directing too. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the general material of Comey-san in the end, but the art direction for that was really, I remember, was pretty good as well. Especially when how they drew up the comedy and all. But yeah, I don't have much else more to say. I could say more, but I need to get to another show right now. I mean, again, I could talk all day, but I think I've said what I needed to say, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So thank you guys for coming out, and yeah, like I know I'm gonna check out the light novel soon afterwards, but it's just such a good. I can't say the anime. I feel like the anime is on par with the light novels at this point, even with all the production issues it did have. And I couldn't ask for more. Like, it's a new, this and Mushoku Tensei are the new standard for light novel adaptations, and I don't want people saying otherwise, because this is the fact that this got the adaptation that it did is a miracle in itself. Also in Mushoku Tensei, in a situation right now where it's just so much stuff, you know, to where like there's the quantity over quality, and we're lucky, and it's like a miracle in itself to even get such a great series like those two. But yeah, I'll move. But other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna move up to Dress Up Darling, which, if it wasn't for 86, I would be more psyched. I would be more psyched to, you know, to look forward to. But for now, at the moment with the past few weeks, and then to this finale, 86 was taking the spotlight. That's just all I'm saying. Anyways, I'll like, share, subscribe, follow me on other social media platforms I use. You can also join the Discord server if you want to. But that's gonna do it for this edition of Anime Reactions, and for 86 until God knows when. Hopefully season 2 comes around. But yeah, this is Radiation signing off. See you next time, or see you in the next stream. Take care, stay safe, and have yourselves a great day, guys.